Sometimes the most influential individuals in an organization are not the senior executives. In our knowledge based economy, we have seen hierarchies break down and functional leaders have a greater ability to influence change. Hi, I'm Dave Edwards. Today, who has the real power in your organization? Hey, if you enjoy these kinds of topics, please hit the like and subscribe buttons below. It would mean a lot to me. William Ocasio, a professor of management and organizations at the Kellogg School, has written that there's been a shift in the way control is exhibited, and political capital is frequently more important than a person's position on an org chart. He says this is a different way of understanding how power works in organizations. It's not about coercing people, it's about mobilizing political support. Leaders can't accomplish their goals without a broad support base, which is why political capital is important for leaders. Ocasio offers some ideas. Don't underestimate how much capital you have or could have. He says in the past 20 years, we have come to understand better the importance of finding sources of political capital beyond the traditional corporate hierarchy. Second point, how much political capital have you built over time? Ocasio identifies 7 distinct forms of political capital: human, social, reputational, economic, symbolic, organizational, and cultural. He argues that combining your reputational capital with the added value of your job title is an unbeatable combination. Next point, build reputational capital early. Every organization is different and it may value one form or another, but we know that building a good reputation early in your tenure serves you well into the future. He writes, you need to understand which sources of political capital are truly valued in your organization. Another point, invest in political capital before you need it. He says every organization encounters uncertainty, crises, and unexpected events. The higher you rise, the more you'll have to deal with non routine situations. And read your organization's culture. Ocasio says it's extremely important to understand what's valued at a given organization. On the one hand, you want to diversify. This will be a good idea for you in the long run. But in the short and medium term, you need to understand which sources of political capital are truly valued in your organization. Now, if you don't feel like you've built up another influence, here are some other ideas. Build trust with your coworkers. Let them know they can count on you. Be consistent in your approach to tasks and conversations. Be flexible. This is not a contradiction to the other point. When you are negotiating, you may need to be flexible, but when you have your daily interactions, you want to be seen as thoughtful as well as consistent. Be assertive, not aggressive. There's always someone who believes that they'll get their way if they're aggressive. That rarely works. While you don't need to go out for drinks with your coworkers, positive and friendly comments when appropriate are always effective. Don't get into arguments. Remember that your actions speak louder than words. And be a good listener. If you're talking all the time, you'll be seen as having an out of control ego, and you won't gain much influence that way. What kind of political capital have you built up? Is it based in large part on the title that you have? Or are you seen as the go to person when new situations arise, even though your title may not give you that authority on paper? Building political capital, by the way, is also part of my online course, How to Manage Difficult People. If you're struggling with folks at work, how to motivate them, what to say, what not to say, check it out. Go to my website, daveedwardsmedia.com, and click on courses. While you're there, you can find other articles I've written on productivity, management, and leadership issues. That's at daveedwardsmedia.com.